I hear our draft is live for our first game, so let's check it out.
It's going to be on Sky Temple. Team Blaze with that first pick, first ban. They're going to deny the Muradin.
And quickly going into more.
Taronda actually making it through that deep into the draft. Bob Ross fan club is going to ban the Zagara. No first pick on Taronda from Team Blaze. They go for the Kael'thas instead, and Bob Ross fan club gets the potent combo of ETC and Taronda.
Team Blaze really do not play Taronda, so it's often that they will even first ban her. So letting her through, they have to know that Bob Ross was going to pick it up, especially because they would have no interest in picking it up. But maybe they were expecting the second ban on it from Bob Ross. They have been doing that a couple of times in this tournament.
We'll see here what Team Blaze is going to be able to do. I mean, I'm really terrified for them right now. I mean, ETC and Taronda, you have so much set up for the ETC. Power Slide is so good at setting up that Lunar Flare and just blowing up these squishy targets, such as Kael'thas and Thrall.
Now, before one time when we saw Taronda get let through, this was by Cloud9, and they were able to use Asmodan to be able to do a lot of damage and overtake what Taronda would be able to bring as a solo support. But Sky Temple is a whole lot different. It's very difficult to try to get the stacks the way they were able to on Team with the Spider Queen.
Team Blaze here, what will they lock in? And it will be that Joanna. They're afraid of it getting banned out as the Muradin was banned and the ETC was picked up. So going for that safe solo warrior tank.
So we're not going to probably see the Diablo Tyrael now, but they might still have something up their sleeves. It is the Team Blaze way, but we're moving into the next set of bans. Bob Ross fan club could choose to deny a support here if they want to do that, as they already have Taronda for themselves. They even could pick up another one if they want, but we've seen in the past, solo Taronda heals definitely fine.
We'll see what Bob Ross is going to deny from Team Blaze. They could try and take out a support, potentially ban something like Abathur, but they're going to deny the Uther.
Yeah, Uther going to be taken out from this. Now, if Team Blaze have another ban of their own, wondering what they'll choose to take out here. Maybe a damage dealer if they want to limit what Blaze can pick up from that.
We'll see what it's going to be. It's going to die to the Jaina here, Bob Ross fan club. What will their two damages be? They still have Sylvanas on the table. Falstad is available as well. You know, sometimes we could see the solo support Toronto, like you said, so there could be 3 damages coming as well. See what Bob Ross wants to run. I know Kenma can play Toronto very well, so we will wait and see how that goes.
Yeah, that sometimes is the consideration, is how comfortable the support player feels on the Toronto, who's not always been in the past played by the support player, but they are very comfortable, like you said, having that. It's going to be Falstad as one of them. He's going to be great. His global presence on Sky Temple, able to move around, pick up the temples if necessary, or also just split soak for as long as possible before flying into the fight.
If Falstad's going to be great here. If the initiation happens from Blessed Shield or from that Sundering, you can use the Mighty Gust to disengage.
Rainer going to be there as well for Bob Ross fan club. 1 pick left for them. Now Team Blaze are going to round out their composition. Still need to pick up a support. And what will the last one be?
Well, we'll see here what they're going to lock in. I mean, I would like to see potentially a Vala or Sylvanas here for Team Blaze to fill in that last damage role. Support, we could see actually Tassadar and Karazim combined as well. Those two really work well together. Will help the Thrall keep up a sustain as well. So let's see what's going to happen here. Team Blaze going into their time pull here.
Blaze known for their Abathur play, but will they bring it out here? Is this the place to do it?
I don't know if this is. You know, you can put it on the Thrall. You have the constant push from Abathur as well, but is it enough to, there's the Karazim.
Okay.
Who will be that last pick?
Karazim going to be nice. If ETC can get isolated, they'll have the potentially a 7-sided strike for him if he chooses to go that route. Could also be the Divine Palm. We've been seeing more of that in this tournament so far from some of our support players.
We do see that Team Blaze here. What will they pick up? Could be that Vala. We talked about the Tassadar already. Sylvanas can be so good at pushing. Could see something different as well. I mean, they are Team Blaze. They do, you know, drafts that you don't expect very often. We could potentially see something crazy like a Zeratul or a Kerrigan as well.
Yeah, Claudius known for his flexing too. Zeratul pretty good on that as well. And I love, you know, we've seen him on Rexar even before. He's got a lot of pocket picks up his sleeve. But what it will be, I think, is still a mystery. Maybe even to Blaze, they're trying to really dip in the time pool, make sure they get the right final pick here. Only 17 seconds left.
Thinking very, very hard about this. They're probably contemplating whether they want to go Abathur or not. It's probably Team Blaze's most frequent pick, but it will be the Tassadar. Okay, so as we thought, they're going to go with a more standardized composition here.
Tassadar will be very nice to provide a lot of vision for the team, and with a dual support, we'll be able to try to help, especially with that Karzim. You've been talking about it a lot, how his shields really helps Karzim be able to keep a team up. Bob Ross with their final pick. A damage of some type. Sonya's still on the table.
We'll see if that's what Bob Ross wants to do, or will they go with a true support as well? You can use Tyrande as a damage dealer, so there's still an option of putting Kenma on potentially a Rhaegar. I believe Uther was banned out, so yeah, he won't see him. Could see, I mean, Malfurion does not do well against Thrall as well as Tassadar. It's very hard to keep alive when you don't have any mobility as well, but we'll see what Bob Ross wants to pick up here.
Sonya would be my guess. McIntyre, known also for his Kerrigan play, could play that, but like you mentioned before, could also be the one on the Raynor, I believe. And so they've got lots of different options. You mentioned before, Bob Ross Fan Club has a really great hero pool to dip into, and last time we saw them take this long, it ended up being a Sergeant Hammer, and it will be
Sonya. We're going to see the Sonya here. It's going to be solo support Tyrande, played by Kenma. McIntyre does get his favorite hero, Sonya. This is going to be a really cool game from Bob Ross. We get to see another situation where Tyrande is in that solo support role.
Yeah, it's going to be neat to see, and of course she will provide a lot of vision for the team, a lot of utility, amplifying the damage that they can put out, and they can already put out a lot of damage because of Falstad, Raynor, and Sonya looking at a lot of single target damage. Yeah,
that's you know, the frontline Joanna. She is very tanky, has the iron skin to try and escape, but she can be focus fired down very, very easily. You get the Hunter's Mark onto the target. You have the follow-up from both Raynor and Sonya. They both have great single target damage. This could be really difficult for Team Blaze if Bob Ross plays this right.
Yeah, Blaze, though, they do have the double support needed to try to sustain through those fights. They also have the Kael'thas, so getting to 13, as long as they're not too far behind, the chain bombs will be really nice to be able to spread out through the team, and Tyrande could find herself having trouble dealing with all of that damage.
Well, guys, we are in the losers semifinals right now. Winner moves on to play Tempestorm. We're loading into game number 1 here on Sky Temple. Will Bob Ross Fan Club be able to take the series, or will Team Blaze make an upset?
Will be a best of 3 between these two teams as we load in, and I can't wait to see what Team Blaze could have up their sleeve for the rest of this. But first, let's head into Sky Temple.
Here on the blue side of the map, it's going to be Team Blaze. Jason on Tassadar, Hughes going to be on the Karazim, Claudius playing Thrall, Battery on Joanna, and rounding out the team will be Rafflecopter on Kael'thas.
And Bob Ross Fan Club in the red. We have Fan playing Raynor, Zuna on Falstad, Kenma playing the Tyrande, McIntyre on Sonya, and finally playing ETC will be Erho.
We saw ETC played by Erho earlier in the day yesterday, and he looked phenomenal on him. The synergy between him and his team when it came to focus firing down a target with Zuna on that Kael'thas in the previous sets, just being able to annihilate a target was really, really well done. We'll see if they have that synergy this game.
Yeah, and a lot of it revolved around the build that he was going to with the double power slide and the double face melt, being able to find someone and send them all the way back into the rest of the team. And what do they have to jump on that with? Well, they're going to have the Lunar Flare as well as the Ancient Spear from Sonya.
Good damage going on to Zuna from Rafflecopter. We're going to see Bob Ross Fan Club start to disengage here. It's going to be Karazim in the top lane there. Huge going to be rotating up there in the solo lane at the top.
Now Tassadar starting to go down to the bottom, a good safe choice to have as your solo laner. It will be Falstad as well. It's going to be nice for Zuna to be down there because of the fact that he can stay there as long as possible, and then once we start to get into the fights over the temple face, flying up where he's needed.
Mana Addict taking on Kael'thas, not going to be seeing the Fel Infusion again this game, and it's going to be double Season Marksman. I love that so much. It's so much single target damage on that Joanna. That's who they're going to be looking to blow up. Whenever Joanna overextends, you can really, really punish her.
Right, and then they eliminate a lot of the front line there for Team Blaze, so that's going to be what they're going to be looking to do. Meanwhile, block on Thrall, so already noticing that it's a lot of auto attack damage, trying to mitigate that as much as possible.
Yeah, Tyrande, of course, does good auto attack damage herself. We'll have to see if it's going to be true full support build from Tyrande. A lot of them like to go utility. Huge just gets done. The follow-up from Tyrande is there, but they're not able to take her down.
And now we're going to be activating temples very soon. They have started, and we'll see where they choose to split up and start to make their siege on those.
See here what Bob Ross wants to do with their shrines. ETC is roaming up. Erho looking for an aggressive play here. Rafflecopter going to put some damage onto McIntyre. Battery might have overextended though, does get the condemn down. Nice gravity lapse onto the Tyrande, and it looks like Huge will be able to back out here. Erho forcing Blaze off at this point.
It always is nice to be able to take down those big minions because of the fact they do provide a sizable amount of experience to your team, but especially here in the early game, it takes a while to take them out. for the moment now, will be Bob Ross holding the top. Blaze just now picking up their level 4 talents holding mid.
Yep, and Bob Ross follows up as well with level 4. This game is still very, very even, and it looks like Bob Ross is actually going to get off of the point there, and they're going to contest this middle temple.
Now they're heading down a little bit. Kael'thas still holding up into the top, maybe going toe-to-toe with Sonya, but here comes Falstad with the fly-in.
They're looking to force this fight here with his teammates. Battery doing some good disengage onto Urho. Jason going for a flank, but taking a lot of damage from Zuna. Does use the patient. A lot of damage going down onto Thrall at the front line, but Claudius does get healed up. McIntyre with the flank. Nice knockback from Urho, and Claudius going to be the first blood of this game.
Now the flank from Zuna was perfect. He wasn't able to get Tassadar, but he was able to get both Johanna as well as Claudius there on the Thrall, and that's huge for them. Able to get, I think, the remaining shots, but also heading up toward the top to start sitting on that temple as well.
But aggression is the name of the game for Bob Ross. They're always invading. They're always trying to force a fight, and it shows why they do that. They can secure themselves 2 easy kills and so many of the shots on this temple.
Leeching Plasma going to be the pickup for Tassadar this time, so it's not going to be mental acuity, realizing that they need all the help they can get when it comes to support. Jason could be in trouble, has to use Dimensional Shift once again. Zuna dodging the Gravity Labs, will be able to get away.
Shield to the last second. He would have died if that extra hit from the boomerang would have hit him on the way back, but Jason going to keep himself alive. Rafflecopter going to mount up in the bottom lane to get in an aggressive position to potentially catch Zuna in that Gravity Labs. Fan doing a lot of damage to Battery here, microing forward very, very well.
Level 4 talent picked up for Karzim will be the healing ward, so no protective shield, no overtake to give himself that movement speed whenever he uses Deadly Reach. He's going to be providing area heals from that healing ward, especially when they're fighting around the temple phases. It's a very nice pickup when you know you have to fight over a certain area.
Both teams getting level 10, taking a look at the talents. It will be Battle Momentum on Tyrande, one of my personal favorite choices to go. Even when you're going support build Tyrande, as we do see that protective shield. Battle Momentum, you're constantly auto-attacking as the Tyrande, and it allows you to get more stuns off the peel for your team or to help secure kills, as well as more heals out.
We're seeing a Flow Rider once again for Falstad starting to become more popular there. Here comes the Falstad actually in with the fly. Claudius in a ton of trouble, will get taken out.
I love that call from Zuna there, the aggressive play they make, but Zuna's getting very low himself. Jason coming up from above, not going to throw out the Storm, it's going to force him to back out, but I love that call there. Urho goes for the stun, Kenma is there for the follow-up, and the Hunter's Mark onto Thrall, and Zuna knows exactly where to fly in to help secure that kill.
And by continuing to throw out those Sentinels whenever possible, just wanting to keep an eye on whatever Team Blaze is doing, as both teams are trying to get toward their heroic abilities in time for the next temple fight.
We'll see who's going to be the first team to get level 10. Battery going for the point with the rest of his team in the beginning of this bottom. Siege Giants, McIntyre did deal with the push in the top from those bruisers, and it looks like Urho and Fan are going to be capping their own as the Shrine is just about to spawn.
So looking at the Thrall build, along with the block, it is Frostwolf's Grace once again. So Claudius will be able to activate Frostwolf's Resilience to be able to get a heal from that. Also, the Akala's Embrace from Tassadar too. So really just trying to get as much sustainability as possible. They know a lot of damage can be coming out from the members of Bob Ross, and we talked about it a lot. It's single target damage. They all need to be able to make sure that they can stay alive.
You see that level 10 is going to be here first for Bob Ross, so they have that half-level lead. They're willing to give up the shots in the bottom for now to try and get themselves an experience lead. McIntyre with an aggressive rotation almost gets punished for it, but the Spirit Wolf does miss from Claudius.
Starting to push back the minions in the lane a little bit. For now, it's going to be held by Karzim. He has the Radiant Dash out should he need, and he's going to use it to be able to get away. They realize that they are losing out on the experience war, and it's very dangerous to contest this. If they go all in, if they lose one person, then all of a sudden they've given level 10, and actually heroic ability is just going to be picked up instead by Bob Ross without any engagement from Blaze at all.
It will be stage dive or mosh pit. It will be mosh pit. We've seen stage dive work on this map. A lot of damage coming out from this Hyperion to help siege this wall down. They're going to get the front towers out, and it's going to go onto this fort that's already taking damage from the shots from the tower. Big aggressive position from Falstad though, and Zuna is going to barrel roll out of there. Will he go down the Tassadar? And he does end up dying.
He gets taken out as well as Tyrande, though Kael'thas has gone down, so it's a 2-for-1 right now in favor of Blaze, and they're continuing the assault. Yush comes in from the side. He's trying to grab Fan. Fan is going to be able to heal back up, though he is Raynor. 7-sided strike goes down. Heroic abilities are here for Team Blaze. They're trying to chase down a great force wall into a condemn, and McIntyre gets taken out.
Well, it's an overextension from Zuna going for the aggressive guts. They got punished so hard. Zuna and Kenma died almost immediately. Great follow-up from the rest of Team Blaze. You see that Thrall did eventually rotate down, help to get this push down here in the bottom lane, but the play there was by Jason. Those force walls were beautiful.
Oh, so epic. And right now, because of that, they're able to pick up the first fort of the game, actually, there in the bottom, and that's going to be nice for them. That is always the lane priority on Sky Temple because that's where the boss pushes. So if they're able to pick that up later on, they can start helping it move toward the keep.
Experience is now swung in favor of Team Blaze. The Giants going to be pushing this bottom lane here. See what they want to do with this time. They do see Fallside aggressively pushing the top lane, and they're going to secure themselves that first fort from Team Blaze.
Yeah, and another engagement happening now. 7-sided strike going to go on McIntyre, and wow, into a Sundering too. He's so incredibly low, but Arrow is there. A giant mosh pit on 2 members, and now we have somebody getting very low. It is Johanna, in fact, and now that was it. That's exactly what they want to do. They had so much single target damage, and Johanna melted underneath the pressure.
Unfortunately, the Sundering was a little ill-placed there. It pushed the Thrall closer to the members of Bob Ross. Taronda was able to get in position, land the protective shield, and the heal to keep McIntyre up. If it would have went to the right instead, I have a feeling that McIntyre 100% would have went down.
Yeah, moving toward their 13 talents, and we still have, once again, the experience advantage just slightly in favor of Bob Ross because they were able to bring back that fight a little bit. But Temple's starting to activate. We will have a 2 Temple phase with, and Blaze is going to have to play this carefully because they will be down with the talents initially.
Gravity Labs connects with Urho, but no follow-up from the team. Not willing to use Bless Shield in the second. Actually, it was up, but not up yet. It's up right now, though. About to hit level 13. Bob Ross going to be looking to potentially force an engagement here. They're not controlling this middle shrine right now. Falstad is in the bottom lane looking to push down this fort. Yeah,
it's really great that Falstad has that push, which means Taronda can go down and grab the temple too, and any damage that they can put on the fort means it's less shots that they have to use to take out that fort, and now can start working on that middle fort, the final one remaining for Blaze.
Thrall and Joanna are going to get themselves 13 as the experiences gained as the structures do fall, and that's going to be down to 1 fort each for both teams. This is surprisingly close, you know, despite all the kills that have been going back and forth. The experience is very even, and on structures as well, with mid fort about to fall, top fort getting exposed as well. This is very even game.
Yeah, Blaze doing a really great job of contending with the aggression of Bob Ross. However, they do lose the Giants to Bob Ross. They walk right in, push them away, and pick it up.
It's going to be sprint on Taronda, a talent that I love to see. Allows you to be a little bit more aggressive. Sundering comes out though on the Bob Ross. Urho with the power slide is going to avoid the fight. Yu's going with the aggressive dash towards Urho and Fan, and it looks like Bob Ross is going to be able to disengage.
Yeah, perfect disengage. Able to get away from that, even though they did not have the Mighty Gust up, still able to make it work. And yeah, it's going to be a sprint on there, as well as Crippling Hammer once again, increasing the slow from Falstad there on his Hammering. Spell Shield, it will be on Sonya too, and yeah, that's a pretty interesting pickup.
Yeah, Zuno likes the Crippling Hammer. We saw him run it early in the tournament as well. And he does secure himself a lot of kills, and a lot of times the hero will get away, but that slow allows him to get in range and help his team with the follow-up.
Spell Shield on both Sonya as well as Thrall. Cloudy is playing a super safe style of Thrall with block, the Frostwolf Grace, and now a Spell Shield as well. He really just wants to be a true bruiser, just tanky up in the front line along with Johanna.
Bruisers are going to go over to McIntyre here in the top right, and it looks like the map is being painted red for the most part. They did get that invade from before. The Giants are still available. We'll see if Bob Ross wants to go and contest it.
Okay, looking toward level 16 talents as well as the next Temple phase. You're going to start working on these Giants. Do Bob Ross recognize it? Yes, they do. Well, they do. They need to be so careful because they can easily get caught in a choke with a mosh pit.
Well, here they go. Urho goes in for the power slide, gets a mosh pit, but Kale Foss not going to get hit by it. He does get to interrupt on top of it. 7 side strikes going down on Urho. Nice Sundering to try and get out there, and the camp will go over to Blaze.
And they're going to continue trying the fight. They got Urho very low. Urho going to power slide back in. Usually needs to be careful. He gets taken out, and Karazim, the first death in this game. Gravity Labs goes out and catches several members. The boss being pulled in this fight actually going to go after McIntyre. Forcewell trying to force him up toward the middle lane. Dimensional Shift already used twice for Jason. He will go down.
Yeah, that's going to be a dead Tassadar there. Really good job from Bob Ross turning that fight around. Mosh Pit got very little value up. It was almost interrupted immediately. And now they're going for the boss, Gilly.
Yeah, they have Hunter's Mark, and this thing is going down super fast. McIntyre might be able to catch out Rafflecopter here, but Rafflecopter really good with those defensive gravity lapses, being able to throw them out and save himself, but I don't know what they can possibly do here. The boss is going to go down. Battery does try to get on there, but it's not going to happen. Now McIntyre is low, but Kael'thas goes down.
Maybe if one more person was up, they could have contested that.
Yeah.
We saw Bob Ross stacking so hard for that chain bomb. It was doing so much damage, actually. Rafflecopter was doing work in that fight, but it was just 2 versus 5. There's not much you can do in that situation.
Now there's a staggered death timer. It's going to be 20 more seconds until Kael'thas is up, and a tempo has started. Bob Ross going to start moving up to that while Blaze starts to work on taking out this golem. They don't want to let it do too much damage because of the fact that temples are always consistently hitting your structures. You want to keep them as healthy as possible for that.
That'll be the last fort structure to fall, and now the shots are starting to work on the keeps of Blaze. This is a good spot to be in for Bob Ross, as they do have about a 1-level lead. Blaze about to be on an even talent here.
Level 16 pick up for ETC, and it's going to be speed metal, giving movement speed to all of his team, being able to really engage on people should they need it, as he can, once they catch somebody out, really start to go in and try to get them taken out.
Front wall is going to go down. It looks like a keep tower is going to fall, as well as the last shots have been used. And we do have a potential engagement here over the watchtower. It is looking like Blaze wants to force a fight because they are finally on the same tier. Urho, will he get caught by the Thrall?
Now there he is. Oh, the Feral Spirit. Oh, Gravity Labs does connect into the Condemned. Shadowstalk immediately goes down, trying to help Urho get away. There goes Zuna, the flight back into the base. 2
heroics used there for Team Blaze, both short cooldowns as Blessed Shield and Phoenix will both be up within 45 seconds.
Now Wrath of the Berserker and Shadowstalk also used. There goes the Mighty Gust too. Can they catch Claudius here? They're trying desperately to get him. Battery though comes in with the Condemned. We have the Force Wall, as well as the Mosh Pit does get stopped. 7-sided strike doing so much damage. Thrall gets taken out. Now Yuge incredibly low. They're fighting underneath that Hyperion, and it's really helping them out. They're getting low. Arcane Barrier gets used, but it's not enough for Kael'thas 2. Battery being chased by so many members of Bob Ross fan club. None of them getting eliminated in this fight.
The slow there was just a little bit too late, but Zuna goes over the wall and secures the kill. Bob Ross doing what Bob Ross does best, these decisive moments to gust the Thrall and to secure themselves a 5-for-1 or nothing exchange. Actually, no one died on Bob Ross.
Yeah, they have True Shot Aura.
Oh
too.
no,
Jason
Tassadar
going to be able to dimensional shift away, but True Shot Aura, so now they all have 50% increased damage, and that is so much. They just melt the first keep of the game.
Don't think Bob Ross can get much more out of this. It's too late for them to push into the core. Zuna and Urho completely low on health. No mana on any of the people in the team, as they're all very low, except for Fan, of course. Raynor doesn't really dump out mana too much.
Yeah, it's something you always have to consider, especially because of the fact that you have the solo support. Tyrande support is lower than everyone else, but still able to make it work. She does have the Shadowstalk available too, and as we have the heroic abilities starting to recharge back up, we're looking at 16 versus 19. Bob Ross working their way toward being able to pick up Storm Talents, and where the game was close, starting to really get away from Team Blaze.
Kenma with the scout with the owl does see the collapse from Blaze coming. It looks like they're going to dive on the fourth. Nice power slide combo coming out from ETC, but it gets interrupted by the Gust, and everyone on the end of Bob Ross is stacked up. Sundering comes out. Rafflecopter getting very low. Zuna low in the backline. Kenna might fall. He gets isolated from his team, and Rafflecopter going to be the first to fall in this fight.
Claudia is still trying to go after Kenma, but a great Lunar Flare actually able to take him out. Yuge is going to go down 2-3 for nothing for Bob Ross. They're still chasing down Jason. He is Tassadar, but oh my god, the Lunar Flare. They're going to be able to pick up Johanna. Will Tassadar go down? Kenma actually very low. Jason really just trying to take him out with them, but no.
Oh, and they hit 20.
Team wipe at the end of it too.
It could have been a potential death of Kenma, but they hit 20. He immediately picked that Storm Chill talent and used it on himself, and he's not going to go down. It doesn't look like Bob Ross is going to go for the end here, as we do get a pause.
All right, so a pause in the game. This is going to be very tough. There's a 2-temple phase starting up, and we're going to wait it out just a little bit, guys, but the game is looking very much in Bob Ross's favor right now.
Yeah, they're doing a great job. I mean, the kills are 17-3 right now. Bob Ross is doing an excellent job of just controlling this game. You know, we saw the early and part of the mid game look really close. There was a very close exchange, constantly experienced, and at one point, Blaze had an experience lead, right. But Bob Ross has done a great job. The last 2 team fights have gone decisively in their favor.
Yeah, still fairly low, and Kael'thas is going to be up very soon, so I understand not wanting to try to engage into that. It can be very terrifying. And why, I mean, you've got 2 temples up. They're working on the last 2 keeps of the game. Airho's got this one, and Blaze is so far behind in terms of experience. it's going to be very tough for them to even try to get either one of these temples as the mid one's about gone on top of it.
Yeah, there's so many shots still left. That's going to be the last keep standing for Blaze. We all know in a triple keep situation, when you lose all 3 of them, it is so hard to come back in the game. Zuna waiting to cap these bruisers for later moments. Actually, no, he's going to cap them right now instead of going back. And will there be any permanent damage to the core? It looks like there will be.
As the final 5 shots are getting ready to round out, yes, we start to work in, working down the core, and no Mule, remember, picked up for Tassadar this time. Blaze, I believe it was Blaze who was able to stop the Mule from ever really helping, so knowing that it's pretty easy to work around going up against a Mule.
20% damage done to the core, 80% will be the life for the rest of this game here, but Urho with an aggressive power slide. Jason's going to get immediately annihilated before he can get the phase shift up. Nice 7 side strikes, doing a lot of damage to McIntyre, but a good shaft stock to heal up Zuna. That's going to be the death of Rafflecopter. Good summoning from Claudius to try and disengage for his team. Zuna's getting very low in the backline, but he's going to try and barrel over the wall, and they take down Hughes as well as Joanna. Thrall being the only standing member with the core exposed. Bruiser's pushing top lane. The GG is called, and I think this should be game for Bob Ross.
Bob Ross going to head straight to core from that. Not much Thrall can do to be able to defend this, especially considering the fact that he does not have the Sundering. But yeah, it's just him there, and the core already low on health, and that will be it. Bob Ross takes game 1 in this best of 3.
Really, really well done there from Bob Ross. It was a close game throughout the early and the mid game there, but the last 3 team fights were just so destructively executed there from Bob Ross.
They did a great job, and with that, we will have the game 2 coming up very soon, with Blaze needing to change up their strategy probably a little bit. We saw a pretty standard thing from them, and it didn't really work out.
Yeah, they're used to running these more original type composition guys. But we're going to go to a quick commercial break. When we get back, we'll have game number 2 of Bob Ross Fan Club versus Team Blaze. Stay tight.